Welcome back to Before the Whistle, bringing you this week's SEC breakdown.
Vanderbilt's got a big game coming up in Athens. What do you guys think?
I think they do. I think it's going to be a real running back show between Nick Chubb and Ralph Webb. I think Ralph Webb's going to go off if Georgia's defense is pretty bad.
Yeah, but not just Nick Chubb. You got to think about their other running backs with Michelle and Harry, and all three of them are capable of putting up 100-yard games.
Right. You also got to think about Isaiah McKenzie. They get him ball on jet sweep, short passes. He's really fast, really quick.
Yeah, I think another thing is if Kyle Shermer can throw the ball over Georgia's defense, and I think Vanderbilt actually has a really good chance to win that game.
I don't know if that's going to be a good idea because Vanderbilt runs a lot of screen passes.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I just don't think Kyle Shermer is capable.
I mean, Kyle Shermer has 3 touchdowns on the year. It's not good.
He's also got 3 interceptions too. So
it's pretty bad.
I haven't been impressed with Kyle Shermer in the past, but just look at Jacob Eason last week. I think he had like 36 yards the entire game.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Well, the last drive they put together against Tennessee to take the lead late, that was a really impressive drive. It was right down the field.
I think overall Georgia's defense is going to go off passing and rushing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think there's much you can talk about this game. It's just going to be mostly running backs, and it might be a little bit quarterback show if Jacob Eason and Kyle Shermer both can do pretty well. But I mean, I'm pretty sure Georgia's going to take this.
Yeah, I don't really think it's just going to be a defensive show. I think Georgia's just going to totally blow them out. I think offense and defensive.
I think they could put up 35 points pretty easily.
I think it's
probably in the first half.
I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be a very defensive game. It's going to resemble the Vandy Florida game.
You think it's going to be close?
It's going to be like the Vandy Florida game. I feel like.
I think it's going to be at least a 2-touchdown lead at halftime.
Right. So we all got Georgia.
I've got Georgia.
I've got Georgia close.
I think Georgia will win it pretty heavily. But all right, so next game we got Ole Miss at Arkansas now. Ole Miss, they have one of the most explosive offenses in just all the country. But
in the first half.
Yeah,
really.
The first half.
Well, yeah.
They've really fallen apart in the second half.
They've blown a few leads this year.
But what I want to focus on is their defense. It hasn't been bad, but I really think Arkansas is going to be able to run the ball effectively against them. It's going to open up play action. It's going to let Austin Allen get the ball to Jeremy Sprinkle and Jaron Cornelius and all their other wide receivers that have really shown out this year. And I think Arkansas's offense can get going, and if their defense plays good, I think they'll win. So I'm gonna make a hog wild prediction and pick Arkansas to win this game.
I think the real story of this game is going to be Chad Kelly. I think Chad Kelly is going to go off. He's done really good against some quality opponents this year. He did really good against Alabama. He's done good against Florida State. Teams of that liking. So, I mean, he's done really good this year.
I think it really depends on can Arkansas start fast, because I think if Ole Miss gets up, this won't be like the other games, because Arkansas is not a score-fast type offense. Yeah. I don't think they will be able to come back.
You could see that in the A&M game, because
it was
they
really
can't
close. Come back.
My only thing about Arkansas is they have to be. I mean, they were just so predictable against Alabama last week. You watched, they wouldn't. I mean, Alabama was reading every play they were running
because they couldn't run the ball.
You can't
run the ball.
Arkansas's O-line was terrible last week.
Yeah, they were pretty bad.
That way.
Yeah, but one reason that I got Arkansas favored to win this game is because Ole Miss, they strive with their offense. Their defense, it's struggled a little bit, but Arkansas, they'll be on the field. They're great with time of possession, so Arkansas is going to be on the field twice as much as Ole Miss's offense will be.
They're going to be on the field a lot because Ole Miss is going to be scoring a lot.
Yeah, and I feel like Arkansas's offense just works too slow for the college football.
I don't think they'll be able to keep up.
It's not a college-type offense.
Right. It's pro style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they run a lot of I formation, but at the end of the day, it'll be close. I think it'll be a high-scoring thriller, but Arkansas will come out on top.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see Arkansas win because it would kind of help them in the West, but I think Ole Miss is going to pull out the W.
I don't think it'll help them that much. They're already too far behind.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I just don't think they have the firepower. I think I've got Ole Miss by at least 2 scores.
I think it'll be close until about the middle of the third quarter. I think Ole Miss is going to pull away. Chad Kelly's going to have a monster game this week.
Probably resemble the Texas A&M Arkansas game.
Now, I think another game this week that we're really looking at that's going to be kind of iffy is the BYU Mississippi State game.
Yeah, BYU's been pretty good this year. They've played a lot of good teams close. They played Utah, UCLA. They've played them really close, and Taysom Hill has been really good this year.
Yeah, they also are coming off a big win against Michigan State.
Yeah, it's
big.
That
and Mississippi State just got crushed by Auburn.
Yeah, and look at BYU right now. They're running the ball great. Jamal Williams,
over 866
yards, and just look at what teams with good run games do to you. Auburn, absolutely killed.
Yeah, I mean,
Mississippi State has really no running game. I mean, their quarterback's leading them in rushing.
And their passing yards really not that good.
If you've looked at Mississippi State any this year, you can just tell they are not what they've been. Like in the past, they've been first in the country. Now they're, I would probably say one of the worst in the SEC in my opinion.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to the State-Auburn game last week. And I started watching it, and then at halftime it was, 35-0?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Auburn just dominated that game on both sides of the ball, which surprised me.
Yeah, I don't think there's really much you can say about this game. I mean, BYU is only what 3-3, so I mean they're
Yeah,
not that.
yeah.
It's not that impressive.
But they have played.
They have
teams
played.
close.
They have
They've
played,
played really
what
good.
you would call somewhat decent caliber teams. So
Right.
I'm gonna go out with a bold prediction and say this is not gonna be an SEC win, and that BYU is pulling this out.
Yeah, I agree. You know, Brigham Young University, easy win.
Yeah, BYU's got this easy. Taysom Hill will go off this week.
Yeah, State's just they're not good enough to.
They're not good enough on either side of the ball.
No.
Yeah, and I mean I think the Florida game's next.
Yeah, right. Florida, Missouri. This is really a game that I was kind of iffy on until I learned that Luke Del Rio was coming back. I think he's just going to come back, lead that offense to a big win over Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri, at the beginning of the season, I had a lot of hopes for them just because how good Drew Lock was. But the past, I have not been impressed with their offense, their defense, or even Drew Lock.
Yeah, I think at the beginning of the season we hyped up Drew Lock a lot, and I feel like everybody made this big deal about him because he's passing for so many yards against these teams. But you look at the teams he passed, I mean, a couple hundred yards against, they're not that good. So I mean,
Yeah.
looking at his stats, you think, oh wow, 1,600 yards, that's a lot. But I mean, look at the teams they played.
I think it's going to be a big quarterback battle. It's going to be fun to see how Luke Del Rio bounces back from that knee injury. After we'll see if they lost chemistry between him and
Yeah.
other players.
I think he might be a little rusty the first quarter, but I still don't think it'll affect their offense very much.
I look to see Jalen Tabor really shut down Drew Lock in the passing game.
Yeah.
Florida secondary is really good.
Yeah, I think
And
Drew Lock, I think he can have a good game, but you just look, he's passed a lot against lesser opponents, but look, they've played their first quality opponent with LSU, 167 yards. I think a pick or two, and just not
What was that?
impressive.
That was 49-7.
Yeah, it was
their
their
first.
But I think coming on Florida's standpoint, this is probably going to be an easy game for them just because they did kind of have a week's rest. They kind of escaped the LSU game for now, but they are playing on the 19th of November.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's actually going to be a really good game, and that's going to be key for Florida to win that game.
Well, it's a must-win for Florida.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
late
think
this season.
if they want to win the East, they have to win this game.
I think Florida's defense is going to come up big this week.
Yeah, they have easily one of the best secondaries in the SEC.
But now Josh Dobbs did come out that second half, and
Yeah.
he did throw the ball a lot on their secondary. So I think Drew Lock can get going this game, but I just think Florida's D-line is going to dominate all game, and their secondary, their just defense is going to be too much.
So yeah, I think this game's going to be decent, but Florida's going to win this game.
Yeah, I've got Florida about probably 7 to 10 points.
You know, I think Luke Del Rio coming back, he'll have a pretty big game. I think Florida wins.
Yeah, for Missouri to win this game, they'd have to execute their offense perfectly, and I just don't think Drew Lock can do that this week. So I think Florida's defense is going to win this game for them.
Yeah, I think now it's time for the game of the week. We're going back to Knoxville. It's Tennessee versus Alabama.
Yeah, I got to go Alabama. You know, it's just I think it'll be. I'm not going to say easy win, but Tennessee's not going to give them too much trouble.
See, last week, you two, because Parker was in Florida, both stated that you thought it was going to be at least a 2-score game against Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Granted, Tennessee played like trash, especially in the first half. 7 turnovers.
Should have been a 2-score
But-
game.
right.
It should have been.
Played just horrible in the first half, but they were still in that game.
Yeah,
They had
Tennessee
11
fought that
injuries.
game. I'll give it to them. Tennessee fought.
11 injuries, 8 starters out, and they were still in that football game at the end of it.
Yeah, but I think you go look at the stats. Jalen Hurd was out last week.
Right.
So
Alvin
Alvin Kamara coming in and really putting in the workload for them is going to show Butch Jones that, yes, he's got more options at the running back than he actually thinks he does. But on the quarterback side, Josh Dobbs, you look at his stats. He's got a lot of touchdowns, but he also got a decent amount of interceptions.
Right, he's got 8 interceptions.
If
14
If
touchdowns.
Tennessee wants to win, they have to keep the turnover margin
I
in their
just-
favor.
I
They've
just
got
think
to.
The thing with Tennessee's offense is they're a second half team. They've never
Oh,
played
yeah.
a good first half this year, and their big thing has been execution. Like you saw against Florida, they came out in the first half, they couldn't execute, they couldn't catch passes. Josh Dobbs couldn't make
You
throws.
look at A&M, it's fumbles.
and then you look at A&M, and they're putting the ball on the field.
This is
They
what
do.
I think is going to happen in this game. In the first half, Tennessee's going to dig themselves a huge hole. Second half, it's going to be too much to come out of.
See, you said that against A&M. I found that interesting because I kind of was starting to think that, especially as the game went on. But Tennessee just finds a way to put themselves in that game.
Yeah, but
they
I
find a way
think-
continuously
but here's-
against an A&M
this-
team that
But this
buried
is
Arkansas.
a very different team with a lot of more
Yes.
high caliber players. Now,
So
you-
so's
but you
A&M.
can say that
A&M is a
about you
good
can say
team,
that
but-
about A&M, but you look at Alabama and they are just a different team than A&M.
No,
Yeah,
but
but
look,
this
you got
game-
Trevor
this game
Knight
this
and
week-
Travion Williams.
this game this
huge
week-
players.
It's going to be good because Tennessee's finally broken in that top tier of SEC teams.
Oh yeah,
that top four tier.
It's not
And
going to
they-
be a bad game
And
at
they
all.
finally played one of the better teams in the SEC, so I feel like they'll be more adapt to playing in
Right,
Alabama.
and I feel like you pick up one or two of those fumbles, and Tennessee walks away with that win.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
yeah.
You know,
just better
so
ball
it's-
security, and that game doesn't even go to overtime.
I
No, I
honestly
think
think
if-
that Tennessee's still going to have ball security problems. I think they're
Yeah,
going to
I
they're going
think-
to turn the ball over at least 3 times
I
against
think
Alabama.
based off that last game, if you're a Bama fan, at this point, you look at two things. One, you feel scared about playing Tennessee this week because Tennessee almost beat A&M with 7 turnovers. You just can't let that happen as Texas A&M.
Right, and 8 starters
But-
out too.
Yeah, but it makes Bama fans feel good about playing A&M because they almost lost getting 7 turnovers, and they had a bunch of players injured. Tennessee had 12 penalties, but they still almost lost.
But Bama can't look forward to that Texas A&M.
But
They have
here's
to.
my thing. Bama's a different team, so I feel like if Bama gets out early, it's going to be different than them A&M getting out early.
But you
or
said that about A&M.
Georgia
too.
getting out
Putting-
early.
You said that about
Putting
A&M.
it
too.
simply, for Tennessee to win this game, they're going to have to execute on offense.
Yeah, they
This game
can't
is
turn
not
it
gonna
over
take
7
miracles.
times.
This game will not take.
This game will be close.
They're
all game. They might dig themselves into a 14-point. Alabama have a 14-point lead,
Yeah.
but I think they will still be
They're-
able to come back, make it a close
Their,
game.
their offense is going to have good execution, and their defense is going to have to stop the run game. They're going to have
Yeah.
to make Jalen
Here's my
Hurts-
bold prediction
They're
for
going to
this
have to make
game.
them throw the
My
ball.
bold prediction for this game: Alabama rushes for 300, passes for 300. End of the game. Crimson Tide by 14,
Whoa.
at least.
Now,
At least.
here's my thing. You look at both sides of the ball for both teams. They have stud players on each side of the roster. I think this game has to be one in the trenches. I think the better team when it comes to defensive and offensive lines is Alabama. Alabama's going to win this game by at least 10 points.
Well, D-line, I don't know. That could go both ways. You got one of the best defenders up there with Miles Garrett on Tennessee's D-line. They get their middle linebacker and
If we
Jane
can
Kirkland
get
Jr. back.
if
Miles
Alabama
Garrett was also battling injuries against Tennessee that game.
Okay. But I'm not just talking about that game. I'm talking about Derek Barnett and Miles Garrett. Ever since their freshman year, have both played pretty much on the same level.
if Alabama can contain Tennessee's front defensive line,
Which nobody has done.
it's going to be.
Which they will
I
not
think it'll
do.
be very easy for them to use Damian Harris and Bo Scarborough in the run game, and it's more than likely going to be an Alabama win. Plain
All
and
right,
simple.
so right there.
I think for Tennessee, this is a good toss-up game. Like, this is going to be a great game. I think for Tennessee to win, they're going to have good offensive execution, and their defense is just going to have to load the box, stop Alabama's run game, and make Jalen Hurts throw the ball.
I
Because
think
no
that
team's really tested his passing ability.
I
yet.
think the tide's
he
gonna
will
keep
make
rolling.
freshmen.
Yeah.
He will make freshman mistakes. You saw it against.
You got to
Ole Miss.
remember, is he a redshirt freshman? He's a true freshman.
He's a redshirt freshman, but this is his first.
This is his first year starting. So I mean, you need to make him. You've seen other freshman quarterbacks.
he played almost flawless against Arkansas, so I have a lot
But
of
you look at
confidence
his
in
Ole
him.
Miss game where they flustered him. He was throwing bad passes all over the field.
Yes, and the only reason they did really good in that Ole Miss game is because Ole Miss played more of a zone type defense and allowed them to run the ball because nobody had respect for their running game.
Right.
And I feel like you have to give them that respect now because they've rushed for so many yards against all these good teams.
Yeah,
All right, so all that aside, final predictions.
It's hard, but I just have to go with Tennessee. Last week, I didn't know if they would even come close to pulling it out against A&M, but they really, I think, showed pretty much everybody that they can compete with the top teams in the nation. They had 7 turnovers, still almost win that game in double overtime. Stayed stride for stride with Texas A&M, still came back from a 21-point lead. I think Tennessee finally gets over the hump, beats Alabama this weekend.
I gotta disagree with you. Lane Kiffin pulls some tricks out of the hat. Alabama wins. Plain and simple.
Alabama's the #1 team in the nation for a reason. I think the tide's going to keep rolling.
17-game win streak, I believe.
Yeah.
17, 18-game win streak.
18 game win streak coming up against Tennessee
Yeah.
this weekend at Knoxville.
For me, this game is a toss-up. Both of these teams are really good. I feel like both offenses are really good and both defenses are really good. And I'm going to go bold here. I think Tennessee is going to win this game this week. I don't know if I think Tennessee is going to load the box. They're going to stop Alabama's rushing game, and I think Jalen Hurts is going to make some mistakes in the passing game. And I think Tennessee is going to learn from that A&M game, and they're going to come back a better team. They're not going to turn the ball over as much. And I mean, the production was there against A&M. You got to admit it. It's just the turnovers killed them. That's it. So I think it's going to be a really good game. It's going to be close, but I think Tennessee can pull it out.
Yeah, well, that's gonna do it. We'll
That's
have to
gonna
see what
wrap it
happens
up.
come Saturday.